Hello and welcome to Rathods IS Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 5th October 2024. So let's get started with our discussion, and there are many number of articles which are very relevant from your examination point of view. Okay, so let's get started and see this article. Actually on this topic, even in your GS paper 4 in part 2, that is case study, there was one case study regarding Naxalites, and if you are a police officer or SP, how you are going to manage this condition. So this topic is relevant from our even ethics point of view. So see the title guys, it says 28 Naxalites killed by security forces in Chhattisgarh gunfight. So this article is talking about anti-Naxal movement, right? Okay, so what is the keyword? Keyword is anti-Naxal movement in India. So from which subject you will be seeing this topic? Yeah, from GS paper 3 under internal security, and from GS paper 4 under ethics. So in ethics, you can get question from your case study that already happened in 2024 means. And apart from this, can you connect any other subject with this, what is happening now, that is Naxalism or left-wing extremism? Can I say even economy can we connect? So what is the important reason for this Naxalism or left-wing extremism? It is because lack of development, lack of infrastructure. So can I add that in the part of economy? Yes, right? So here from these three subjects point of view we can see, and even we can connect with GS paper 1 and 2 from society and social issues point of view. Because why there is rise of this left-wing extremism is happening, because they are getting support from this locals, right? Local people, they are supporting them. So what are the dimensions you have to see? So what is Naxalism? Naxalism is also called as left-wing extremism. You have to see what exactly is this, and you have to see what are the causes of this left-wing extremism. Tell me what might be the causes. What might be the causes? Because of lack of education, lack of developmental activities, lack of infrastructure, and actually this Naxalism, it is anti-government movement. They are anti-government. Okay, so why the name Naxalism came? Because the place where this movement had started. So where this movement had started in India? In Naxal Bari area of West Bengal. And next you have to see what are the measures taken by government to control this Naxalism in India. It is very important, and you have to see anti-Naxal steps taken by government, and you have to see recent data. So I think 3 to 4 months ago, even our Union Home Minister gave a statement that there is decreasing of Naxal attacks in our country. You have to see that recent data of status of Naxalism in India. That data is very important, guys. And next one is you have to see, like if you are a police officer or IPS officer, how you are going to tackle this thing. Okay, so all these are very, very important, and especially have to focus on what are the measures we can take to control this Naxalism in India. And even you have to see this topic called as red corridor. So which states comes under this red corridor where there is huge Naxalism that we can see. Okay, let us see here the context. This context says that in a significant anti-Naxal operation in Chhattisgarh, that too in Bastar region, always this Bastar region is very high news because high number of attacks of Naxalism which happens here. And actually in this attack, around 28 Naxals, they were killed. That means, can we see like huge toll which happened in this attack, right? So actually this is the thing which mainly said, and this operation which had been praised by that so-and-so chief minister of that state, and they said that yes, these anti-Naxal operations are successful. Okay, now let us see some more details regarding this topic. So here if you see, what is the casualty number? Casualty number is 28. So in the recent operation, so here we are doing fight against Naxalism. In this fight against Naxalism, about 28 insurgents, they were killed in a single encounter. So here we can understand that yes, our security forces are working better. So we are having very high efficient anti-Naxal attacks. And this one here is, so on one side here Naxalites are killing, so another side obviously this Naxalites will be not keep idle, right? They will not sit idle. So they will be also doing some retaliative attacks. So in that retaliative attacks, the injuries among security forces can also happen. That means even our armored police forces need to be very careful whenever they are going with this anti-Naxal operations. So what they require? They require advanced technology, modern technology. So can you add international relations dimensions here, like which are the defense equipments that we are getting from other countries, right? And even you have to increase our expenditure on defense equipment. Okay, so you can also add science and technology here, like bulletproof jackets. Okay, and next one here is, yes, after Prime Minister Modi came into power, so from last 3 times, right? So this is PM 3.0, Modi 3.0 era. So from that time onwards, so there is increased anti-Naxal activities in our country, so that we can understand that yes, there is a shift in the policy when we are comparing with the of earlier government which is in power in the central, and actually there is increased resource allotment to control these Naxal attacks in these areas where Naxalism is very high. That is in which left-wing extremism is very high. That is in this red corridor region. And next one here is, now actually if you see the political reactions, obviously there will be issues between ruling party and opposition party. So opposition party are also showing some political consensus because both they want to address this Naxalism, and actually it is a success to the different administrations. Like, so when we want to go for this anti-Naxal operations, it is not only can be done by state government or central government alone. So we need cooperation between the stakeholders. Like we have need to get the help from the central government, state government, and the local level police, and even we have separate central armed forces. So we have to take all those things. And even some states which are affected by this left-wing extremism, they have their own police forces that will be dealing with this left-wing extremism. So in each and every stakeholder, they need a proper coordination. And next one here is, if you see the historical context, so here from history onwards, so when we got independence onwards, so we had this problem of Naxalism in our country, and especially in Chhattisgarh. So lots and lots of casualties which will be happening from our history onwards. Okay, so that is the thing. And here you can see map of India's Maoist conflict. And as I said, this region is called as Red Corridor. So we have AP, Telangana, Odisha, West Bengal, and Bihar, and even some parts of Jharkhand. So these are the regions which affected by this Naxalism. And whenever you are writing any answer regarding this Naxalism or left-wing extremism, you have to draw the map and you have to say the areas which affected by LWE, that is left-wing extremism, and you have to write in bracket red corridor. Okay, red corridor. And here, as I said, data is very important. So this is the data which given by Ministry of Home Affairs. So here, the title of this data is Status of Left-Wing Extremism in India. So the year 2022 witnessed the lowest number of incidents of violence, especially in Naxal hit areas in the last 4 decades. That means from last 40 years onwards, there is decreasing of Naxal attacks. So why? What might be the reason why there is decreasing of Naxal attacks in our country? Yes, government focus increased. Next, there is increasing of development, and even because of geo and because of internet, because of mobile communication. Yes, that is also an important reason. And I want one more important reason why there is increasing of decreasing of Naxalism. Huh? Okay, health benefits next. Actually, education. Education is very important. Yeah, so we need to focus on education and awareness. So with this only, we can control that kind of anti-government movements. And if you see the violent incidents in Naxal affected states that have come down by 77% in 2022 when we compare with that of 2010. Okay, that is 2010 when we compare to 2022, there is decreased of 77% of cases. Okay, so that is a thing that you have to remember, and here you have to focus on this part a lot. So it is about initiatives of government against Naxalism. So first one here is we have National Policy and Action Plan to address this left-wing extremism. We came up in year 2015. So here what are the steps that you can see? It will be after 2014. That is the first era of PM 1.0. Okay. So at that time, we came up with this national action policy, which is against left-wing extremism in 2015. And later on, we came with this Samadhan. So Samadhan is very successful initiative. And next one here is we came up with this aspirational district program. So what is this aspirational district program? Any idea? What is that? So there are 112 districts which had been selected, which are very, very underdeveloped areas where they are focusing on infrastructure development, like schools, healthcare facilities, sanitation, basic amenities like that. So this is one important program that also brought a drastic change in our society. And next one here is security related expenditure scheme. So they are focusing on increasing of expenditure in defense equipment, especially in 10 left-wing affected states for security related things. So whenever we are having strong security, obviously we can control this kind of effect. And next one here is special central assistance for most left-wing extremism affected districts. So they are focusing on especially whatever the critical gaps we have in our public infrastructure. So we are fulfilling that. Like we are going for improving of our police stations, improving of our education, improving of hospitals, etc. And next one is we are also focusing on improving of road connectivity in this left-wing extremism. So that one important problem that we are having here is, so normally these left-wing extremism areas are forest areas, right? Dandakaranya forest areas. So if we are not having the proper roads and connectivity, can we reach that region? No, right? So we need to have even road facilities so that our police personnel, they can reach these regions. Okay, so see this next article. Jaishankar will travel to Pakistan for SCO meeting. What is the keyword? Yes, keyword is SCO. SCO is nothing but Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So from which subject you can connect this? Okay, GS paper 2 under international relations. Okay, so when we are going to have this summit? 15th and 16th. So where it is going to be conducted? In Pakistan. So Pakistan gave invitation. Why? Why Pakistan gave invitation to India to come? Because India is obviously the member of SCO. So what was the India's reaction when we got invitation that we are not going to attend? But now finally we changed our policy and we are going to attend, especially our external affairs minister is going to attend this meeting. So here, tell me what is the significance of this meet. So is Pakistan a friendly nation of India or enemy nation? Enemy nation. So our external affairs minister is going to Pakistan. So what it means to Indian foreign policy? To ensure peace. Okay, next. To resolve which issues exactly? Okay, Indus water treaty is in use. Okay, apart from that. Terrorism. Next. Infiltration in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. Next. Come on, come on. Think and tell me. So what it means for our Indian foreign policy? Okay, so with which country we are having conflict other than Pakistan? That is China, right? So on sidelines of many meets recently, we also had talks with China. So there we discussed about issues between India and China, whether they had been resolved. Then, what about this meet then? Uh, what happens if India is attending that? Uh, that's the only reason India is okay. So what happens if India is not India if it is not joining this meet? So tell me any other organizations where India and Pakistan both are member? Is there any organization where both are member? Uh, what is that? Uh, not BIMSTEC. Next. SARC. Yes. So what is the fate of SARC? What happened? It became irrelevant. Why? Huh? Because of India and Pakistan, where they are both members. So they won't accept the things, right? So because of that, this relevance of SARC had been decreased now. So if India is not participating now, again, this organization will be becoming again one more irrelevant organization. So here we need to participate. Apart from that, we have a problem of terrorism. Yes. So to address this terrorism, so this organization is very important because in this SCO we have RATS, anti-terror organization here. So we will be using that RATS in this SCO so that we are going to address global terrorism. Okay, so because of this, this organization is very important. But in this SARC, we don't have any anti-terror organization like this SCO. So because of this, this SCO is very important for India because India is facing this problem of terrorism. Okay, let us see this article. Okay, before that, from which subject you will be dealing? That is international relations. Okay, so what are the dimensions you have to see? Okay, you have to see what is this SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and you have to know basic GK facts like when it formed and who are the members and how many membered nation or how many membered organization. Can anyone tell me how many members are there in this SCO? Ah, Russia, China, India, Pakistan. Next. Any Central Asian countries? Which stan is not the part? Tajikistan. So how many stans are there in Central Asia? 5 stans. Okay. In that 5 stans, only 4 stans are part of this SCO. So which is that one stan is not part of this. So that you can understand. It is Turkmenistan. Turkmenistan is not part of this. Okay. So you have to remember members like that. So you will be getting question like, so which of the following Central Asian country is not part of SCO? Because Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, they are all the part, but only Turkmenistan is not the part. Okay, and here you have to see who are observer nations. It is also very important. And next one is what are the aims and objectives of this organization, and what are the challenges which is faced by this organization. And once the meeting is done on October 15th and 16th, we will be getting clear-cut editorials regarding what are the highlights of this meet that you have to focus on. So there is a high chance of getting question regarding this SCO in your prelims and as well as mains. So how many questions you got in your mains from IR this year? 4 questions, and it contributes 50 marks. 50 marks from only IR from your mains. So total marks is 250 marks. Out of this 50 marks from IR. So you have to go through this current affairs thoroughly, especially from international relations point of view. We can't know, like we can't guess like which question you will be getting. Okay, so see this context. External Affairs Minister will visit Islamabad for SCO heads of government meeting. So when? On October 15th and as well as 16th. And actually one more important thing that you have to focus here is, it is the first visit by Indian External Affairs Minister to Pakistan in nearly decade. From last 10 years, there is no one went to Pakistan, but first time our Indian External Affairs Minister is going. So it is also one important significance. That means, can you see like there is decreasing of tensions between India and Pakistan? Will you accept it? No? Yes? So if yes, tell me why. If no, why? Uh, yes. Last one was Sushma Swaraj, yes. Mm. Okay. So actually, we are going to focus on the important themes called as regional cooperation, and as well as we are focusing on especially Indus Water Treaty, but actually that will be going on the sidelines of this meeting. That will be not the main agenda of this SCO, but on sidelines we may have talks regarding Indus Water Treaty, because many a times India is calling them to meet, but they are not at all showing any interest regarding this Indus Water Treaty. So we have to see like whether it will be the matter of the thing which is going on the sidelines of this meet or not. And if you see the important things regarding this article, so actually what is significance of this meet? Jaishankar visit, which symbolizes that there is potential thaw in India-Pakistan relation. So already I said the meaning of thaw. What is the meaning of thaw? THAW, thaw. This word you will be seeing in your world history and also in international relations. Thaw is nothing but low tensions. Okay, so low tension is called as thaw. So whenever our external affairs minister, he is going to other country which is enemy country of India, so it represents that there is decreasing of tensions between India and Pakistan. And next one here is, especially we are focusing on regional cooperation. It is a main theme of India which wants to talk in that SCO, which reflects that India wants to engage in multilateral platforms so that we can manage bilateral relations. So if we want to talk with Pakistan directly, so they are not at all showing interest even in this Indus Water Treaty. So because of this, we can use this kind of multilateral organizations so that we can present our views, we can present our concerns in this multilateral organizations. And next one is, we are focusing on diplomacy. So as we all know that as there is increasing of infiltration in this Jammu and Kashmir region, and there is increasing of terrorism in India from this Pakistan, we can also do retaliation, right? So but recently our Prime Minister, he gave a statement that if we want to resolve these disputes, we have to go for diplomacy rather than warfare. And even our foreign policy had been changed towards peace rather than warfare. So it is one of the example that we are going to participate in this type of event so that we can show diplomacy there, okay, rather than warfare. And next one here is, as I said, in these two organizations, SARC and SCO, India and Pakistan, they are members. But actually there is decreased relevance of this SARC because of always whenever India proposes anything, Pakistan says no. If Pakistan proposes something, India says no. So the decreasing of relevance is happening. So because of this, here, if we are not participating now in this SCO, again the same thing may be reflected in this organization because of our bilateral disputes. So disputes are present between India and Pakistan, but why that dispute need to be showcased in this multilateral organization where other countries are also part of, right? So because of this, we are going to attend this, especially we don't want to showcase our bilateral dispute in this organization, and especially this SCO is very important for countering of terrorism in India. Okay, and actually I said no, so there is stalling of, stall means nothing but whatever the initiatives they want to come up, there was everything had been stopped in this SARC. And actually SARC, they are focusing on the regional cooperations, and as well as they came up with some agreements. So what are the agreements they want to make, and whatever the steps they want to make in regional cooperation, everything that had been stalled. Because of this, it became irrelevant now. So we don't want one more organization to be relevant now. So that is a thing that you have to focus on. Okay, so if you see some facts regarding this SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it is an international organization. So here you have to know what is the aim of this grouping. So it is a political grouping, and as well as economic grouping, and as well as security grouping. So when it was found in year 2001. So whenever it was found, so there were the 5 founding members. So it is called as Shanghai 5. So which are those 5 founding members? Kazakhstan, China, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, and Uzbekistan, and later on other countries joined like China, Pakistan, etc. And as of now, we have 9 full-time members. China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Iran. And next one is Uzbekistan. So recently added member is Iran. Okay, recently added member. And Turkmenistan is not part. You have to remember this. So Turkmenistan, which is Central Asian country, is not part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And who are the observer nations? We have Afghanistan, Belarus, and Mongolia. So on this also you can get a question. And there is no need of remembering these dialogue partners. So what is the importance and relevance of SCO for India? Tell me now. Why we have to focus on this SCO? So first one is, as I said, counter-terrorism, because we have rats. And next one here is for regional stability, and especially to enhance security in our Central Asian countries. Also, we need this thing. And next one is for improving of connectivity. So if we want to move to Europe, we have which project now? IMEC project, right? So this IMEC project which goes through this Central Asian countries. So if you're having good relation with the Central Asian countries, then only we can have good connectivity. Yes, for connectivity purpose, we need this. And even for economic cooperation, like if you want to get good markets, yes, we have to approach good countries. So if there is no marketing or if there is no place for Indian goods, then can we increase our trade or can we increase our economic growth? No. So for that also, we need to have this economic cooperation like with other countries, so that we can have the access to the market, we can get proper technology, and even we can invest in some other countries. And even the Central Asian countries are also important for our energy security, because we are also getting oil from them. And next one here is, we need these countries for multilateral diplomacy. Like if we are having this type of groupings, we can place our concerns, we can place our problems in that organization, so that we will be getting proper solution for that, so that we can engage with other countries with diplomacy. Okay, right? And even we can boost relation with the Central Asian countries, because India has Central Asia policy. It is one of our foreign policy towards Central Asian countries. So for that also, we need this kind of organizations. Clear? Okay, see this. Modi says conflict hit regions are important for energy security. So what is the keyword here? Energy security. What is this energy security is about? What is food security? What is uh, availability and affordability of food? What is energy security? Availability and affordability of energy. Energy in sense? Crude oil. Okay, very good. So actually this article is saying that conflict hit. So which are those conflict hit regions? How it is how it is having impact on our India's energy security? So can you tell me some examples of conflict areas now? Ukraine, Israel, Russia. Tell me all the countries still. Next. So from which countries we are getting this energy from? Arab countries. What is happening in Arab countries now? Huh? T20 World Cup. Next. Tell me what is happening in Arab countries. How it is affecting energy security of India. Okay, tell me, will we like importing any oil from Iran now? Present? No, why? Because of? So what is that sanction? Uh, uh, uh. Mm. Uh, uh. The name of that sanction? CARTSA. Okay, what is that CARTSA is about? Countering? American. It is like I'm teaching to kindergarten students. Countering American adversaries through Sanction Act. Okay, so now from which countries we are getting our crude oil at present? Russia next. Next. Okay, so why we are importing? Why we are importing crude oil? Don't we have this crude oil reserves in India? So tell me in which areas we have crude oil reserves? Godavari Basin, Assam, Digboy. Next. Uh, Tell me, geography is done. Indian geography. Where we have oil reserves in India? Huh? Mumbai. Okay. Only three places. So why we are having very less reserves? What is the reason? So how this oil and coal will be formed? What is the process? Due to? Uh, Due to what exactly? Sediment of what? Sediment of what leads to formation of what? Uh, which fossils? Fossilization of plants will leads to formation of coal. Fossilization of animals will leads to oil and as well as gas. Why? So in animal bodies we have proteins, fats, so that will be converted into oil, and in animal they have only carbon, so that will convert into coal. Okay, so here this article is talking about energy security. So the keyword is so where we can connect this topic in our syllabus. In GS paper 2 IR, because our prime minister he gave the statement like because of conflict which is happening around the world, it is having impact on our energy security. Apart from this, from which subject we can connect this? uh, Economy. Okay, from GS paper 3 economy. Next, from GS paper 1 geography. Next, from GS paper 3 environment and ecology. Okay, so what are the dimensions you have to see here? Tell me fast. So you have to understand what exactly meaning of energy security, and you have to see different types of energy, like we have renewable energy and we have non-renewable energy, and you have to see examples. So what is the difference between renewable and non-renewable energy? What is the difference between renewable and non-renewable energy? What is the basic difference? Renewable means we can regenerate. Okay, what is non-renewable? Okay, limited resource. So why we are moving from renewable, non-renewable to renewable? For sustainability. And what are the disadvantages of using these non-renewable resources? Disadvantages? Yeah, carbon dioxide emissions. Next, limited resources. Next, we have to depend on other countries because those are limited in our country. So that again it will be having impact on our economy. Always there will be trade deficit. Yes. Okay. Yeah, cost also increases whenever. Okay, one more thing here is, you know that we are importing crude oil from other countries. What if those countries stop exporting of crude oil? What happens if they are not importing, not exporting? If we are not importing this crude oil, then what will be happening? Instability, everything, every problem will start with this crude oil, right? So for national security, for territorial integrity, for everything, we are required to maintain this energy security. So for this uncertainty which is happening globally, like we don't know like when this Russia Ukraine issue will be going to stop, we don't know, and we don't know like what will be happening in the future in Arab countries where we are getting this oil. So for that we are maintaining strategic, what we are maintaining? Strategic petroleum reserves. So how many strategic petroleum reserves are present in India? Only two. I gave a homework on this topic, like you have to find out how many strategic petroleum reserves are there, and in which places, because already the question asked by UPSC on these 3 sites. So there are 3 reserves in India. So you have to see exactly where they are located. Okay, now let us see this article clearly. Our Prime Minister, he emphasized the significance of conflict hit areas, especially in West Asia and as well as Russia-Ukraine conflict. So because of this, it is going to have impact not only on India's energy security, but even the countries which are other countries which are also importing the oil from these countries, right? So we are going to have impact on global energy security. So what happens if global energy insecurity emerges? So what happens? What happens if there is global insecurity of energy? There is increasing of prices everywhere, hyperinflation, economic instability of the countries. Next, there will be increasing of unemployment rate, there will be increasing of poverty, increasing of hunger, increasing of social tensions, increasing of conflicts, right? So all these things again interconnected. Okay, so let us see the important things. So because of ongoing conflicts in West Asia and Ukraine, so they are going to pose direct threat to global energy markets. So here this article is saying that each and every country is interconnected in this globalized era. So if something is happening in one country, it will be having impact on another country because of interconnectedness of international relations and economic stability. And even you know that India is heavily relied on imported crude oil, so that if something is happening here, it will be having vulnerability on India's economic stability, and we have to face external shocks. And next one here is there is also market volatility. So we don't know like when the price of crude oil will be increased in international market. Do you know about this OPEC country? OPEC and OPEC plus. What are those organizations? So these are the petroleum and crude oil producing countries, and they will be forming a cartel. Do you know about this cartel? Cartel? No idea. Okay. Do you know about syndicate? Syndicate. Non-industry. Syndicate. So if you saw that movie of Pushpa, so there was syndicate. That means a group of people who are controlling the resources. So like that, cartel is nothing but the group of countries, they will be controlling this oil production in the world. So they will be deciding the prices. So these prices will be differing from every day. Like if they are producing more, that is if they are withdrawing the oil more from the ground, the price will be less. If they are drawing less oil, then the price will be more. So here there will be limitations which is created by that cartel, like so how much amount of crude oil that a country that a country need to be extracted, and how much amount of oil that should be exported. So that is mainly maintained by these cartels, right? So because of this, we don't know like on which day what is the price. So if unfortunately, if you are giving the order to that OPEC countries that we are importing this much of oil, if that on that if the price is less, again the price of petrol will be less in India. So that is an important reason why the petrol prices will be changing every day. Okay, so there is a high market volatility regarding fluctuations in energy prices. So it will be obviously affecting India's inflation, because if we are producing a good in a so and so village, so from that village we have to take it to some markets. So we need proper transportation. So if we need effective transportation, we have to pour oil or like petrol or diesel. Without that, the vehicles will not be running. So if there is increasing of price of this petrol or diesel, what happens? Obviously, the transportation cost increases. That will lead to increasing of price of the goods, right? So again, that will be having impact on economic growth. Okay, so that is the thing. And if you want to achieve this vision for 2047, what is the vision of 2047 of India? Viksit Bharat. Again, we need to have energy security. So not only this India's vision of 2047, even the other countries, especially less developing countries and less developed countries, they also have the vision of getting this status other than India. So can you tell me other countries which are in the line of India, which they want to get the status of developing soon? No idea. Huh? Okay, next. Next. Okay, so do that exercise, like which countries want to get the developed status soon along with India. So this energy security will be also affecting their challenges as well. And next one here is we have to focus on innovation technology so that we can maintain buffer stocks. That is nothing but strategic petroleum reserves. We have to increase that capacity so that if something is happening, so there should not be very heavy impact on India's economy and India's energy security. Okay, so that is the thing. And say this article, WHO gives approval to first Mpox diagnostic test. So what is this? Mpox. So is it a new topic? How many times you wrote question? And how many times we discussed this topic in current affairs? So actually this is advancement in Mpox, that is like we got diagnostic text to Mpox now. So nothing but what is that test is about? Do you know any idea? So how you're diagnosing any disease, you will be withdrawing the blood or you will be giving your urine sample so that that will be tested and they will be checked for any antigens which are present in your body, that is foreign particles which are present in your body or not. If they find that salmonella typhi, then you will be getting the report that you got tested positive for typhoid. If in your blood they find any HIV virus, then they will say that AIDS positive. So here this test is about Mpox diagnostic test. Okay, see this article. Cast in jail, time for state government to end systemic discrimination in prisons. What is this article talking about? Caste-based discrimination in prisons. So how this caste-based discrimination is happening in the prisons? How? Do you know? So manual scavenging is going on. And next one is in-house. That means inmates. They are called as prisons. So they have to do work. They should not sit simply in the jails, right? So they will be also given work. So here there are many reports saying that based on the caste, the work is divided. So low caste people are getting this work of manual scavenging. Okay, and actually because of this now we want to come up with the reforms. So can you tell me how can we reform our prisons so that we can eliminate this caste-based discrimination? So do you have any idea? How can we eliminate this? Come on, think. Because you are future civil servants. Huh? Yes, actually we have to remove this caste column in that jail manuals so that we don't know like which person is belonging to which caste, so that there will be equal distribution of work. Okay, so that is the thing which is given here. So from which subject we can see this topic? From society, from polity, because we have article 17 which talks about untouchability, right? So from that point of view you can see, and even we have right to equality. So which articles talks about this right to equality in fundamental rights? 14 to 18. Okay. So now let us see why it is in news. Supreme Court issued series of directives to central and states to ensure that no inmate is subjected to work assignments or housing arrangements based on the caste. As I said, whenever the prisoners who are present in the jail, they have to do some work. Do you know which works they will be doing? Uh, 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 Plantation next. Okay, rocks. Why? Why in prisons they will be giving work for this prisoners? To know the importance of hard work. Okay, next. Actually, to bring reforms, to bring the change in the attitude of that person. For example, if a person who is caught under theft, so why he is doing thief? Why he became as a thief? Why he became? For the survival. So is that only a method of livelihood to survive in the society? No. So if we are giving skill, so after once he released, so he will be not doing that. That means nothing but it is one of the reform made to type of thing that will be taken by the government, so that he will be understanding the skills are important for livelihood. It is unethical. That thing we will be discussing in ethics, okay? Okay, so here Supreme Court declared this provision in various jail manual is unconstitutional. So whenever they are writing the caste in this joint manuals. So based on the caste, whenever there's division of work, it is unconstitutional. So we need to come up with the reforms so that we have to ensure human rights, we have to ensure fundamental rights, and we have to ensure dignity of life, and there should be no discrimination based on caste. Okay, now if you see here, so this Supreme Court is saying that everyone is born equal. So you have to use this kind of words while you are writing your ethics or while you are writing your essay or directly GS based questions, because these are the statements given by Supreme Court. Supreme Court said everyone is born equal and cannot suffer lifelong due to stigma attached to their caste. So Supreme Court, what are the directives which given? We have to revise prison manuals, and what is the time limit? Within 3 months of time. And center should address caste-based discrimination in this Model Prison Manual of 2016 according to this Model Prisons Correctional Services Act of 2023. And next one here is caste columns and references to caste in prisoners register should be removed. So these three things can be done. Okay. So I will be giving you question today mains based on this topic so that you can include all these words given in this infographic directly. Okay. Try to use them now onwards so that you will be get habituated to write an answer. Okay. I will give you the PDF no. So what are the issues related to prisons in India? What are the challenges we are facing? Tell me, you know some of them. Yes, overcrowding. Why overcrowding? Because of under trails. Next. What? Human rights violation. How? How human rights violation? Huh? I am not asking that. So what are the problems in our prison? One is overcrowding, but I am not talking about human rights violation. So overcrowding will lead to human rights violation. That's it. But human rights violation is not the cause. Next. No sanitation. Next. Yeah, discrimination. Next. Manuals. Everything will come through that word only. No. Okay. So fundamental rights of prisoners, they are mainly violated. They are not getting any right to personal liberty. And even 39A article says that they have to get free legal aid. That means if any poor person got arrested, so if they want to go to the court and if they want to go on for the proceedings, actually they need who? Lawyer. So if their financial status is not okay to continue with a lawyer, then actually we are having a concept called as free legal aid under Article 39A, which comes under DPSP. So actually, if this is properly provided, there will be decreasing of crowding in the jails, because they will be having the lawyer so that their case will be going on and they will be getting judgment. So actually there is no proper legal aid in our country. Okay, even though it is present in our constitution. And next one here is there is overcrowding and there is 117 percentage of capacity. Normally percentage of capacity is 100%, but rather than that we are having 117 percentage. So 17% more people they are present, they are under trials. And next one here is there is no speedy justice, right? So because of that also there is increasing of prisoners. And next one is there is delay in that of trials. And even especially women prisoners, they are facing much more challenges, like they don't have even basic sanitation facilities, basic water facilities, etc. And even there is no proper women dedicated presence in our country. It is also one lack of infrastructure. And here you have to focus on these things, like what are the prison reforms, and you have to see which are the earlier committees recommended, because you may get question on this. So I think I gave question regarding simultaneous elections, especially before, I think 3 to 4 days before your mains examination. So the first question in your GS paper 2 is about simultaneous elections. There they asked about recommendations of other committees. Do you remember? So you know about only COVID committee recommendations. Based on that, government approved the simultaneous elections. So they also gave the reference to the earlier committees, right? So here you have to remember even which are the earlier or other committee recommendations on prison reforms. Clear? So this is the thing that you have to learn from this paper, and in this way you have to change your strategy towards your examination. So the first one here is Justice Mullah Committee, which formed in year 1983, and this committee recommended that we have to improve prison accommodations and we have to focus on correctional services. Whatever the services that deficit is there, we have to focus on that, and we have to focus on public and media visits for transparency. Like if the media is allowed into this prisons, then they will be covering what is happening and everything, so that people will be getting known like what is happening in these prisons exactly. And next one here is we have to reduce under trailed prisoners, and we have to get a national policy on prisons. So after this committee recommendations, we came up with this national policy on prisons. And next one is we have to use other alternatives to imprisonments like community service, etc. So rather than keeping them in the jail and feeding them. And next one here is we have Justice V.R. Krishna IR Committee, which formed in year 1987. So in this committee, one important recommendations made, it is induction of more women into police forces so that women prisoners can be taken care of. And next one is they also focused on separate institutions with women employees alone, especially to take care of women offenders. And next one is they also focused on restoring of dignity of convicted women. So this committee is focused entirely on women prisoners. And next, one more panel which is very recent in 2018, it is Justice Amitav Roy panel. It recommended several prison reforms, like we need to have fast track courts. So one of the important reasons for this overcrowding of prisons is delay in justice delivery process. So we need fast track courts, and even we need to have improvements in lawyer prisoners ratio. That means how many prisons are there, how many lawyers are available under this free legal aid. And next one here is we have to go for video conferencing for trials rather than taking them to courts. Okay, so that the justice will be given fast. And here we have Model Prisoners Act of 2023. Under this act, you need to know what are the provisions which are given to the prisoners. So I think you might have heard about this parole, furlag. So these are the words when you watch any movies. Yes or no? So what is exactly meaning of these words? Do you know? You have to know this because on this also you will be getting question in your prelims. Okay. So under this Model Prisoners Act, so why we need to know about this Model Prisoners Act of 2023? Because Supreme Court said that we have to make reforms in our prisoners, okay, and which is come up under this Model Prisoners Act of 2023. So that you have to know about what are the provisions under this act, so that in which area we can make the reforms to ensure that there is no discrimination in prisons. So first one is legal aid to prisoners should be compulsory. That is according to Article 39A of Indian Constitution. And they said that parole is nothing but early release from the prison. For example, they got punishment of like 7 years of imprisonment. So they can be like released before 4 years, before 5 years, like that. So that is called as parole. That need to accept some terms and conditions, like if they are abiding the behavioral conditions, so based on their behavior. And this one is furlough. It is a right of prisoners to retain family and social ties. For example, if the prisoners they want to meet their family members, actually for family members they will be going to the jail and they will be meeting, so it is nothing but furlough. So that next one is there are some special facilities for women and transgender prisoners, and there is also provision of using of technology in prison administration, not by the prisoners but just administrators, they have to use this technology for the proper maintaining of prisons. So these are the provisions. So tell me in which area we can make the reform so that we can address this caste based discrimination. We can use increased technology so that can we decrease this caste based discrimination. Next, what about this furlough? What about this parole? Can we do any changes? What about legal aid? Can we increase this legal aid by increasing of lawyer to prisoner ratio? So you have to think in this way because you are the future civil servants and you have to see. Okay, and you have to see even which are the relevant case laws. Yeah, of course. That too based on the crime they did. Okay. So here one more thing you have to focus is which are the case laws which are related to prison reforms. So earlier we have Husnara Khatun versus Home Secretary 1979 case. So in that case, Supreme Court said we need to focus on speedy trail so that we can decrease under trails and as well as we can decrease overcrowding in prisons. And it's one is state of Rajasthan versus Balchand case, which says that bail is rule, not a jail. Bail is the norm. So that is also in recent news, right? So decrease the crowding. So we have to give the bail rather than keeping in jail. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember. And say this article, Kerala urgently needs to identify risk zones. Why it is in news? Landslides. Okay, so can you tell me the place where this landslide happened? Why not? So apart from that, which are the vulnerable areas in Kerala? Anyone from Kerala and Karnataka? Okay, Karnataka guys, tell me. Western Ghats. Next, Kodagu. Next. Okay, so why they are vulnerable? Because eco-sensitive. Okay. So from which subject we will be dealing with this topic? From environment and ecology, from disaster management, from geography. Okay. So this article is saying that Kerala urgently needs to identify risk zones for natural disasters after deadly landslides in Wayanad, which resulted in 231 deaths. But it is not official. So unofficially we know what happened in this Wayanad, but officially they are saying that just 231 deaths have happened in this Wayanad issue. So now what we have to do? So we have to focus on disaster management re-evaluation. So this landslides is saying that there is inadequate preparation to control the disaster management strategies. So here we have to focus on especially prevention and as well as mitigation risk so that we can reduce the loss of life and as well as property. And next one here is one more important reason for this kind of landslides is lack of proper urban planning. There is no sustainable planning. So we have to focus on, whenever we are focusing on urbanization, expanding of cities and everything, we have to take care of the geography, like in which area water is moving. And next one here is we have to focus on natural drainage system. So what is the stability of that slope? So even if you want to construct any building across the slope, we will be checking like whether that area is sustainable or not, whether it will be vulnerable to the landslides or not. Like in the same way, if you're going for any development projects, mining or etc., we have to focus on the slope stability. Okay, so that we can understand about what will be the future impact of disaster. And next one is we have to take geological factors into consideration, like we have to understand tectonic and geological conditions, whether that region is going to be stable or not. And next one here is we have to even take this climate change into considerations. Already you know that because of climate change, the rainfall pattern is changing. Yes or no? Are we having even rainfall throughout our country in monsoon season? No, some areas are getting high rainfall and some areas are getting deficit rainfall. So that is the thing that we need to take care of. And actually we have to go for vulnerable mapping. So what is this vulnerable mapping of state? Vulnerable mapping. So we have to go for identification of vulnerable areas. So in that vulnerable areas, we have to come up with the different strategies so that we can control this disaster in the future. And even we need to focus on early warning system, monitoring systems, etc. And we have to focus on community engagement. Always community, they need to know about in which area they are living. So what are the disasters that may come? So what happens if the disaster is happening? So what are the steps they have to take so that they can minimize the loss of life and as well as property? So these are the things that you have to remember. Any doubts so far? Yeah, these are the important topics that appear in our today's in the newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. Thank you so much guys for watching, and if you like this class, please hit the like button and please do share this class to your friends, and please do subscribe to Rathods IS Academy.